Welcome back. I'm prepared to be bedazzled because today I'm going to be shedding light on my story appertaining to working my first minimum wage employee job in the restaurant industry at a gross wage of $6.55 per hour at age 16 and at hazardous employee working conditions in the land of Draconian slavery and Draconian oppression. So how was this aforementioned work experience, you may ask? Without further ado, without further delay, without further procrastination, allow me to demystify an answer to that inquiry right here, right now. Lamentably, much to my dismay, much to my consternation, much to my chagrin, much to my grief, much to my agony, much to my agitation, much to my irritation, working this aforementioned minimum wage employee job was an ineffably, egregiously abysmal experience. In no facets was this employee job devoid of redeeming qualities. What I deem this aforementioned minimum wage employee job to be a dead-end, highly time-depleting, debilitating, dispiriting, unfulfilling, undesirable, harrowing, distressful, brutally wretched, ineffably agonizing job. Once again, to recapitulate, this aforementioned minimum wage employee job in the restaurant industry was an eminently dreadful employee job in no facets. I detested and disdained working this aforementioned minimum wage employee job. Prior to the advent of working this aforementioned minimum wage employee job, I earned anywhere between 2,100,000 to 2,300,000 video views on my YouTube channel. However, that was not enough video views to furnish my YouTube channel with monetization options at that juncture. It would have been beneficent to have a monetized YouTube channel at age 16. However, that's a luxury that not every entrepreneur has. So, my parent wanted me to work this minimum wage employee job in the restaurant industry. Even though I was eminently reticent about doing so, I was recalcitrant about doing so, since it not only had hazardous employee working conditions, but it also did not pay anywhere close to a subsistence wage. Furthermore, it did not offer any benefits nor pensions. When your emolument is capped at the minimum wage pay grade, it is not going to furnish you with enough fiat currency for you to be able to afford to attain an extremely low standard of living. If you're earning remuneration at the minimum wage threshold by working a minimum wage employee job, then it's not going to provide you with enough purchasing power to be able to afford to attain your basic need of housing or transportation. The minimum wage does not furnish you with enough purchasing power for you to be able to afford to augment your standard of living. Is almost commensurate to working for free when you work a minimum wage employee job. You want to work in capacities that can at least provide you some modicum of a chance to attain financial stability and financial security. You want to be pursuant of worthwhile entrepreneurial pursuits that have a limitless earnings potential. So this minimum wage employee job in the restaurant industry requires strenuous, debilitating, laborious, grueling manual labor to work. It was the job of a busser. However, I was quite hired in to fulfill 2 to 3 jobs during my employee shifts for my first minimum wage employee job in the restaurant industry. The restaurant leveraged scant bussers during my employee shifts. The restaurant leveraged 2 busters during my employee shifts in lieu of leveraging 4 busters during my employee shifts. I presume that the restaurateur had an aversion to hiring additional busters, since it would amplify his labor costs. Almost 100% of the profits that companies generate are reserved for their shareholders, executives, and external directors. During my employee shifts, at my first minimum wage employee job in the restaurant industry, I was expected to fulfill the role of the server by recording the beverage orders, preparing the beverages, and subsequently doling out the beverages to the customers. All the servers there did were jot down the entree orders and appetizer orders and subsequently bring out the entrees and appetizers to the customers. They would not jot down the beverage orders, nor prepare the beverages for the customers, nor dole out the beverages to the customers. The customers would seldom tip the busters. The job required incessant, heavy lifting. I would haul dishes from the dining areas to the kitchen, and I would also be exposed to secondhand smoke at the outdoor dining area. Certain customers and certain employees would profusely smoke, so I was exposed to deleterious carcinogens, hazardous neurotoxins, and noxious and endocrine disruptors during my employee shifts for my first minimum wage employee job in the restaurant industry. So once again, to recapitulate, experience of working my first minimum wage employee job in the restaurant industry at a gross wage of $6.55 per hour at age 16, that had hazardous employee working conditions in the land of Draconian slavery and Draconian oppression, was a Brobdingnagian waste of time and no facets. However, I forecasted that it would be a Brobdingnagian squanderance of my precious, invaluable, finite, indispensable, sacrosanct time and no facets in advance. I was acutely aware that this job was a dead-end job that does not provide a person with an iota of a chance to attain financial stability and financial security if it is his only source of revenue. So it is foreseeable that there are repercussions to working this job, which is that it can adversely impinge on your overall health, and that it can severely disrupt your circadian rhythm due to the shifts being early in the morning, and that it can also induce tremendous inflammation due to the ceaseless heavy lifting at the employer's job site during the employee shifts for my first minimum wage employee job in the restaurant industry. So I hope that you deem this video to be riveting and captivating, mesmerizing, insightful, enthralling, intriguing, engrossing, and amusing. I hope that you're entrenched in the underlying epicness. Be prudent and provident about how you earmark your time. Thanks for watching. Have a blissful day.